Hello to all my new followers, and thanks so much for joining in today. For those of you who are new to my show, I'm Amy Rashevsky, and very, very happy to have you guys here today. I'd like to tell you that I am virtual, coming from North Carolina. We live stream, we're streaming on AMTV Productions, and coming from the New Dawn Theater in Boca Raton, Florida. So I'd like to just say, don't be shy if you would like to call in, ask questions while we're doing the show, especially if you have a question or two for my guests. The number's at the bottom of the screen, 888-499-4995. And everybody will be there, and they'll pop it on the screen for us. So I'd really love to hear from you. Also, if there's someone you would like to suggest to be on the show, any guest in any medium, be sure to let me know. The world is really large virtually right now, so we can really reach out to a lot of different people. And I would love to share some interests that you might have. So number one, please, today. I'm going to put up a photo, maybe. Okay. There's the photo. And I promised last week that I would talk a little bit more about my other art. But I've been really, really busy with these mosaics, and I couldn't help myself to bring the discussion up again. And if you're watching for the first time, let me tell you a little bit about my mosaics. They are original canvases that I've had in my storage, and I wasn't showing them, so I use them, I cut them up, and I use them to make new mediums. There's a little dog barking back there. So because I'm finding that my diversity of the subject matter is the same as I do with my acrylic work, so I'm all over the place. So as you can see behind me, I have a Tiffany lamp, and then I have a landscape, and many of them, whatever comes to mind is just going to come out onto my new canvas, as you would say. So I'm really showing you an original and then another original on top of it. So it has a lot of meaning to me. So the new one that we were just talking about up here, I take a walk every day, and I pass this wall. So one day I took a picture of it, and then I said, what am I going to do next? So I sat down on my table, and I started to look through my pieces of canvas that I have and try to figure out how I could get the right coloring to work into the painting. So I just sat down and started with the wall at the bottom. Actually, it's a path at the bottom that I walk on, and then there's the wall, and then there's layers of walls in there, and then I finally I started building up the flowers. And matter of fact, the flowers that are in there are dried now, and I picked them in the exact same place as where the photo was taken. So I've sort of included that into the medium. And then at the top, there's like a little white ridge line, which I got to, and I said, well, what am I going to do now? And I don't know how to end it. So I started looking through my scraps, and I put the little pieces up there. And all of a sudden, I looked at it and I said, oh, they look like they're homes on top of the hill. So then I just added the sky, and there it was. And I really enjoyed that. I had no idea that I could get the dimension, or just getting that to get there. So it's really very difficult when you get to a point that you're running out of canvas. So I have all these little pieces. I don't know what I'll use to get for my next painting, but I think what's going to happen is I'm going to have to start painting on canvas, and then doing that and cutting them up after I paint them. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. So I want to just bring up another photo. Should be here any second. Okay, so like I said, I wanted to show you a little more of my other pieces of work. And the one on the right top is the black and white and red. That one is for a children's room, and actually it's in a playroom right now in somebody's home. And I did a whole line of children's paintings in the last year or so. So if anybody is looking for stuff for playrooms or even for adult playrooms, there's a few to choose from. And then on the left side is just an acrylic painting that I did. And if you want, anybody wants to see any of these up close and personal, you can go on my website, or I'll be happy to send some to you. And then the bottom two are two more mosaics, and the one on the right bottom, I did the woman, and the whole canvas was my first one that I filled in, and it has gray canvas that I use for the background. And the other one is just a flower vase, which kind of came out great because it has all the bright colors in it. So today, I'd like to really keep my speech short today because I have a very special guest, Allison Perlman, who's going to be coming on. Allison's, I guess you could put her picture up for a second. There she is, and I can't wait to talk to her, and I'm going to ask her. She deals with celebrities, and I'm going to ask how she's been carrying on virtually and how that's working out for the celebrities around the world. And so I just like to take a commercial break real quick right now. And when she comes back and when I come back, we will have a great show. So be right back.
Come see Amy Reshevsky, an artist here at the gallery. She has a plethora of art styles that will indeed captivate the human spirit, mind, body, and soul. From her vibrant pieces to her most shrouded pieces, come down and see Amy Reshevsky.
Welcome back. Allison, we're looking for our wonderful guest. There she is. Welcome, Allison.
It's a pleasure and an honor. It's my pleasure.
Allison and I go back in time. We've known each other for many years and sort of watched her career blossoming. And I was so pleased when she said she would do this. And Allison, can you just tell us about, we'll get started, but tell us how you got into the TV entertainment world. I know you were in strategic planning and marketing, and so just explain a little bit how you got started and go ahead.
Sure. Yes. Well, again, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here, Amy. And as if you have admired my career, right back at you. You're a very talented artist and a nice person to
oh, that works.
all around. Yeah. Well, my career has been just, really, as I say, the genesis of everything that I've ever done. I've always been in the entertainment industry. I actually began working for a film company when I was interning for a film company when I was 19 years old. I grew up in Los Angeles, and so I did have many opportunities available to me. I was lucky enough to intern for a very famous actor named James Garner. And as one would assume of an intern, I did everything from get coffee to pick up famous people at the airport to nannying their kids and editing film. I learned an awful lot, and I worked with two gentlemen, a gentleman named Bob Levy and certainly James Garner, the actor, and they were just wonderful to me and really taught me a lot. So my track actually took me from university to business school to working for one of the largest advertising agencies in Boston, Massachusetts, and then on to the National Football League in New York. as one would assume, the National Football League is an entertainment entity, and I learned about marketing and licensing and advertising. But what always really, set me on fire was the PR aspect, was publicity. So I did concentrate on sports for a while, but in working in licensing, you work with big brands. You work with Frito-Lay, you work with Champion Sports, Nike, Adidas, everyone, which really brought me into the making of commercials and the exposure of the National Football League, and its licensing arm, its publicity arm, its publishing arm, then into the PR world. I then had children. I mean, I had a whole life in addition to my professional life. My professional life then brought me into television production. I was an executive producer of several very well-known television shows. And I always, besides my executive producing responsibilities, I was always interested in exposure. And after growing up in the kind of house that I grew up in, which was really just, we're pretty uber cultural in terms of literature and of the performance art and certainly art itself. And I thank my parents every day for that. I really tried to meld what I loved in my personal life to that which really set me on fire professionally. So I had a gentleman come to me named Nim Vaswani. He's a very, very large global art entrepreneur and founder of a company that fosters art exhibition and in particular celebrity art appearances throughout the world. And the first client I had was Ringo Starr. For those of you who don't know, Ringo Starr is a very, very accomplished artist. And the first show I did for him, the first PR hit I got was the cover of Rolling Stone magazine and the cover of their digital platform, rollingstone.com. So that kind of set me up for what I found was a niche in the art and publicity world. So that is what God intended me to do. And there was really no big company or even boutique public relations firm that was servicing the publicity and exposure of celebrity artist events and the model of following concert tours and having VIP art events. So I would like to think that I really not only developed the niche, but was able to bring to art exhibition the ability to have it be perceived as really an entertainment option. So that was about almost like 17 or 18 years ago, and my firm has become the industry standard for publicity in the genre of celebrity fine art. In addition, we'll talk about my clients in a minute. I also represent, for publicity, very large commercial artists. Peter Max, I've been Peter's publicity component for about 17 years. And have also done publicity for most of the major art promoters in the world. Park West Galleries, which handle all the art on all the cruise ships in all the world. Wentworth Galleries, Roadshow Company. And now I've transitioned into digital platforming because as the change in our, in humanity and society, here we are. And we can talk about that. And there's some standout people in that category. Certainly Ruth Ann Thorne, who is my client, who is the celebrity host for the show Art of the City TV, which is really, I think, going to be one of the major platform stars this coming fall and winter, certainly with my help. And she is an amazing host and amazing gallerist. And I think that's something,
I watched a little
Amy,
bit. I thought it was terrific.
yeah, she's incredible, and she I think will be we're hoping to platform on, Apple TV, Nat Geo, all the major broadcast platforms this coming winter. And she has
Wonderful,
also
wonderful.
developed the model of following large congregate activities that are now virtual. And again, we'll talk about that. Everything that was a large congregate activity, which is no longer tenable for us, at least at the moment. Certainly, we believe that's going to change, but we're not God. Nobody knows when that's going to change. So until that
Right.
change comes, you have shows like Art of the City TV. You have Let's Talk with Amy Reshevsky. You have New York Fashion Week going virtual. You have the Hamptons Art Fair. You have the Aspen Art Fair. So we're all just really navigating through this. And for a publicity firm whose category is fine art, we have to be very groundbreaking. We have to be very forward thinking, and we have to be we have to be adaptable. We have to adapt to the way that people are engaging with each other until we
That's
really
right.
are able to engage with each other. And we're a social society, so hopefully I would like to say that we can go back and credit publicity firms like mine and shows like yours, shows like Art of the City. And I'll just let me
Right.
just talk about Art of the City for 1 minute. Art of the City
Great.
TV is truly a groundbreaking series. And what Ruth Ann has done, she is a very, very well-known gallerist, world-renowned gallerist, and she started this platform uh, on location. And she was covering very famous artists in all different cities. And she now has been covering the Indian market, which is Santa Fe's premier congregate activity. Every year, hundreds of thousands of people go from the beginning of August to the end of August, and they see this. This is their logo right here. If you could go back to the last one, so I can the last photograph of Nakona Lawrence. So Art of the City has been covering all of these cultural and artistic and performance and culinary events at Indian Market and bringing it to a global audience. So that's the
Yeah.
adaptability
It's
in
amazing.
digital
People,
marketing of art. It's
yeah,
amazing. And
yeah, you're covering so many people now that you could never cover before. I mean, it's just
that's right. And so
tremendous how
you're
the virtual stuff is working.
and it's global. So you take out the geolocality factor, and this translates to any entertainment option, whether it is Art of the City TV, whether it's New York Fashion Week, whether it is your platform, people.com's platform. We're bringing now entertainment, art, culture, and performance to the world, where once you literally had to get on a plane. And certainly
Right.
that's going to happen again in our world. I mean, we're
We hope
hopeful
so.
about that.
Yeah.
We hope so. And you know what? We think so, God willing.
Yeah.
But what,
We'll get
what
through
Ruth
this.
Ann has done, which is, I think, almost startling in its exposure, is to bring to the world this celebration of Native American and Indigenous peoples to what once was, let's say, 500,000 or million people, to the people of the world, if in fact
Yes.
they're aware of the platform. So my job as a publicist is to, first of all, brand the platform, have people associated with high level, interesting, wonderful content, which Art of the City has done. Take that take that series and then put it onto a streaming platform, because streaming is where the audiences are. Whether it's
Right.
Art of the City has been featured on NPR and PBS and in different newspaper articles, but taking those episodes that were on location and now are virtual and bringing them to a streaming platform where people can see them on their televisions as well as all their devices. So
And what about marketing those? How do we get people to know that you can watch these shows? I mean, it's going to be in the newspapers. It's going to be all over our media, so people know. Oh, I can watch that.
yeah, you use
That the
the
Santa Fe
same
program,
methodology that we use. It's a
as we're doing
combination of
right now.
advertising, marketing,
Advertising.
PR, and you let people know via all different channels that this is where you can find it and this is what it is. Again, if you take a large scale event that's very well known, that's already branded. So that's why at Art of the City TV, we took Indian Market, and for a month of that celebration of Native American culture, did shows, streaming shows, and socially platformed shows to get it out to as many people as possible. No different, Amy, than what you're doing with Let's Talk Art. You're building your
Right.
audience. And so that is like that's a primary importance for exposure, is building your audience, getting people to share it, doing
Right.
all the things that you're doing, that we're all doing. It's a little different with the way that I met Ruth Ann Thorne was that I represent Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers for his artwork. I did a show in San Diego, and that's how she and I met. And that's when I saw the show, and I said, the timing for this show, go virtual. The timing for this show
Right.
could not be better.
Right.
And
Perfect. Yeah.
that is the beauty of technology.
Right. I know.
I mean, truly.
The picture that we have on the screen, did you want to explain that?
The picture that we have on the screen is I toured for about 3 months with Fleetwood Mac on their world tour. It was,
My
yes, if you're
favorite.
asking fun, it was a blast. Mick
Yeah.
Fleetwood is a very well-known fine artist and photography artist. And so we picked
Oh, there he
11,
is.
that's Mick and I. You see that Mick is 6'5" and I'm not, even though I'm wearing 6-inch heels. He's a very, very talented artist, and that's the model of what I do for my celebrity artists. In each city, we pick, let's say you have a world tour of 25 cities. We may pick 5 to 10 cities. In this case, I think we did 11 cities. And we follow the tour, and before the evening before the actual concert at the arena, we have a private VIP art show. And if in fact you acquire the art, you get tickets to the concert, you get to meet Mick Fleetwood, he dedicates the art to you. It's a great thing. And I just must tell you,
Yeah.
here I'm looking up and he's giving me some words of wisdom. He is just a fantastic human being. So we did Dallas and Houston, LA, Seattle, Portland, Toronto. Being on tour with Fleetwood Mac was really an honor and a pleasure.
Special. Very special. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Another picture
What's our
up?
next?
There you go.
That is my client, Paul Stanley, who I can say, I mean, Paul Stanley is just, front man of KISS for those of you who have lived under a rock. He's just, he's a very, very, very accomplished artist. He's an accomplished sculptor. He's just an amazing, amazing man. I've done about 18 cities with Paul Stanley, and a truer professional. I mean, literally, my job is to get up at 4 in the morning and schlep to a television studio. And sometimes the celebrities are not that happy about doing morning TV, but they do it. He is a consummate professional and very, very, very successful artist. In his first year out, I think he sold $10 million worth of artwork. And
Wow.
for, I must tell you, for those people who are listening or watching, who are also PR people, because people think that we can just, pick up the telephone and say, hey, today's show, what time should we be there tomorrow? It doesn't work like that. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of people pitching very, very successful celebrities who sing, dance, have a foundations, whatever. With Paul Stanley, it really was that easy. Wherever we were at GMA, you want Paul? Great. What time should we be there? It's not always that easy.
Right. I'm sure not.
I must,
There's a lot of bumps in the
yeah.
world.
But with Paul, it was very easy. And he, as all of my artists, dedicate a portion of the proceeds of their artwork sales back to their charities.
Oh, wonderful.
This is Mickey Hart of the Grateful Dead. Being with Mickey Hart is like Sunday dinner. That's the best way to. He is just a delicious human being. I've been a Grateful Dead fan all my life, so again, being on tour
Really?
with them was serious. bonus. And just getting to meet the rest of the band, albeit without Jerry, but with the inclusion of John Mayer, who is now, they tour as Dead and Company. They're just wonderful. Mickey's art is very, very particular because it is called vibrational expressionism, and it
Mm-hmm.
is really. I'm going to try to explain as well as I can. The vibrations translated into artwork via his drumsticks. And
Oh,
I'll just
oh,
say at
wow.
this juncture that there's a very important art concern. They're called Scene 4. They're two gentlemen out of California, Corey Danziger and Ravi, and Ravi Doja, I think I'm pronouncing it correctly. They two are really the forerunners of. They brought me Chad Smith of the Red Hot Chili Peppers. They initially brought me Rick Allen, Steve Smith of Journey, Carl Palmer of Emerson, Lake and Palmer. These two gentlemen own an art concern which is really a world leader in the kind of artwork. Go on to Scene 4 for anybody who's watching to see the kind of art that they have their clients create. And again, they're a celebrity-based firm. They also represented Frankie Banali of Quiet Riot. I was honored to have worked on a little PR for Frankie, who sadly died the other day. And
Oh,
may he
okay.
rest in peace. But
Yeah.
these two really developed this a certain kind an art form, and they're really the people they represent are the biggest names in rock and roll.
Wow.
Um,
You really have had an exciting life, that's for sure,
it's
and
an
you're
exciting
really
life,
on
and my
a
children look
wonderful path.
forward. I work a lot. It is a wonderful path. Let me tell you something. You and I have worked together, Amy. You and I did an exhibition for you. I brought, to your gallery. Um, I think a
Photographer.
photographer a little while ago, and
Hmm.
it's not often that you walk into a gallery now that was in my hood, which was great because I didn't have to get on a plane. You had
Right.
so many people there, but they came because of the trust and confidence in you. They did not know this. Did not know the artist that was exhibiting, but they came, and I think this is very important to understand in the art world. They came whether they bought or not certainly is, I mean, it's paramount because you're running a business. The bottom line is to sell art. But they came, there were hundreds of people there, Amy, and they came because of the trust and confidence inherent in your reputation. And
Oh,
again,
thank you.
that's a very, and it's true, but that's a very important element to the retailing of art because you can have the most incredible celebrity in the world, the most incredible collection come into your gallery. And if in fact the people who are there and who are able, willing, and certainly express their desire to buy, if they don't trust the gallerist, they're really not going to buy.
Right. Right.
So I want to say, not just because I'm on your show, but at least I get a public forum to say it. I've known you for how many years?
Many.
Thank you. More than we
We were
both like to
teenagers,
admit. I
right?
mean, but you have a sterling reputation, not only as an artist for those who
Oh,
love your artwork because you're very talented, but as a business person in the community selling art. And that really speaks to the integrity and that develops between a gallerist and an artist and a collector. And that is,
thank you so
forget the
much.
celebrity, that's everything.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you so much for being on the show today. And
My
I hope that you could come
pleasure.
back again because we have a lot more. We could probably do another hour of talking to each other. So
Well, I would love to. It's my honor. I told you I'm out here in Colorado, and as you were in North Carolina, so we can do everything virtually. I would love to be on your show, Doug.
the world's at our fingertips. So I just want to say thanks for everybody for being on the show today, coming to the show and watching the show, and tune in next week because I have a special guest. Her name is Jamie Reisler, and she will talk about urban street art, and she teaches it, and she's done it, and she's got a lot to offer us, and it'll be a whole nice new medium to talk about. So I think our time's up for today, unfortunately, because as I said, I could talk to you for hours. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing everyone next week. So have a great, great art week. Bye.
Thank you, Amy. Be well. Bye.
You too.